Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of vocals and stuff, you mentioned that you recorded on that nice, cool little Newman handheld there.
Yeah.
Once it's in the box, what are you and your brother doing as far as like mixing the vocal? Do you guys have like a vocal bus that ever you like to get mixed on? But how heavy-handed are you getting in there?
I like my vocals to sound compressed, but not overly compressed.
Cool.
So I usually do like, like I said, I'm doing like 3 dB before it even gets in the box.
Right.
I'm doing like a little roll off, a C6, maybe like a serial reverb on it, but I usually end up taking that off anyways.
Yeah.
And bussing that out depending, unless like it just sounds great in there.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
And then I'm essentially adding like some multi-band compressors, like the Fab MB.
Yeah.
There's this plugin that I've been using that's like $30-$40 plugin called Xvox.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it's
I get like ads for it all the time.
Yeah. I've been in the habit of just like buying shitty plugins and seeing like what's happening,
Yeah.
But this one actually like not for main vocal, but like if like so I always have my main vocal.
Right.
And that's on it's in its own group and it has its own vocal bus on.
Same.
And then, I'm sending that to delay sends and maybe like a parallel compressor like the DBX 160, things like that, if it needs it.
Right.
Like especially like if somebody's rapping and stuff like that, you just need more presence there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take all my stacks and they're in their own group and their own bus.
Yeah.
And I like sometimes I have so many groups doing different things, but with each of those I'll add like a little bit of like weird flange or chorus effect
just to put them in their own kind of space.
Their own space and give them a different texture, because I just don't want anything to be conflicting with the main vocal.
Yeah.
And like with stacks and stuff, it's usually just like pulling out low mid so that they're a little more airy and rolling off some of the super highs so they're not getting in the way of the sibilance of the main vocal. I do a lot of just like reductive work and obnoxious effects. And just like I'll do this, probably not a healthy workflow, but this like cyclical thing of like adding this to like let's say there's like a huge harmony part, there's like an 8-part harmony.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to have it feel really big, and I'll go in and get a great sound on that, and then I'll play it all back with the main vocal. And okay, that doesn't work, or maybe now the stacks aren't working there. Then I just go in and get really detailed with automation, things like that. It's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, no. If you were to, I just sent over a song to mix yesterday, and it was like some of the most automation I've done in like a minute with everything, but it was a record that like really needed it. And I try and like do the thing where I open up all the lanes with all the automations, and like there was like one where it had like 8 different lanes of automation. And I'm just like, well, but that's what it is. And like I'm a firm believer that I should be able to play my acapella, and you should be able to feel the moments where it's bigger and smaller just in the acapella.
Agreed.
Not, I shouldn't have to, I don't like to rely on my track. I like to have it go in the vocal and do that. And like, same thing, like my vocal template is such a big part of what I do, because it's like that neatness actually allows me to be more creative, where I can actually more quickly make things, sound weird, because like, oh, all my harmonies for like, I have like harms A, B, C, and like, lows. Everything is all separate and ready to go. So if I want to affect it, I can just do it so much faster. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah, I do weird stuff too, like where on my main vocal, right, I'll have, if I want like a vocal throw, but I love the way it sounds running through, the main vocal bus, I'll drop that main vocal track down to the vocal throw track. Or let's say it's a really sibilant vocal take, or they're breathing super hard. Instead of automating each breath, I just create a duplicate track.
I've heard people do this same thing.
Turn it down and just drop every breath that's hitting too much down that way. Because then I'm not sitting there. I mean, it's kind of the same.
It's the same idea, but it's just a different way to do it.
Yeah. And again, I'm also the type of person that like, I'm setting my compressor and everything, and I'm leaving it, and I'm gain staging into that, that thing, as opposed to sitting there and tinkering with stuff.
Right.
I understand compression and I understand the theory behind it, but it's way more time consuming for me to like try to get the compressor to deal with the vocal. I try to get the vocal
to deal,
just to hit the compressor in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like I said, with like God Particle or whatever, you can just crank up a knob and see how it goes. But with compression, like, I want to sound compressed, but not overly.
It's compressing on your terms.
Yeah,
right?
it's just stylistically, I don't work on music where like it needs to be insanely compressed. You know,
Right.
if you're gonna do some like baile funk thing and like, yeah, straight,
Sure,
crank that,
go
you
for
know?
it.
A lot of the times, like especially in pop music, you want a really great sounding vocal.
Yeah.
And let the backup vocals give you like the stereo image and weirdness like that.